All right, just visited New York City. It's time to hop back across the pond to jolly old England for some Coronation Chicken. All right, Coronation Chicken is basically an English version of a cold chicken salad. But first, we need to cook our chicken. So let's get started with those ingredients. All right, you need one whole chicken that's about 5 to 6 pounds. We'll be salting and peppering the inside and outside of this as well. We're also going to need 2 to 3 stalks of celery. The ones with the inside leaves are okay. 2 to 3 whole carrots that I've roughly chopped, about a half of a large Spanish onion, and 3 to 4 whole sprigs of parsley with the stems. Now we're going to put this in our Dutch oven, cover it with water, and then simmer it for 1.5 hours to 2 hours until it's completely cooked through. Okay, like the chicken noodle soup, we're going to start by browning the chicken and our aromatics in a little bit of oil to begin with. That'll add some nice color to the broth and add some nice flavor to the chicken. Okay, this has been cooking for just a few minutes. Not very hot. We can get this turned over by hand. Okay, I'm going to get this chicken turned back over and put my aromatics down in the pan. Okay, my parsley is going to go on top here. Now this is filtered water because our water here is pretty heavily chlorinated, which does change the flavor. Okay, once this comes up to temp and starts to boil, I'm going to turn it down to low, then I'm going to cover it, and we're going to let it simmer for about 2 hours. Okay, this has been simmering for a couple of hours, and you can see it is done. So we'll go ahead and turn off the heat, and I'm going to go ahead and get this over to the sink, and we're going to get it drained. Okay, in order to drain this chicken, we're going to use the same setup we did for the chicken soup. I have my colander inside of another bowl. This is going down in my sink simply because it's lower, easier to pour stuff into, and again, if there's some calamity, it happens in the sink and not all over my countertop. Okay, we're not actually using this broth in this recipe, but we're certainly not going to throw it away. This is excellent flavored chicken broth. So first things first, we need to get this chicken out of here. Whatever you do, try not to burn yourself. Okay, it's falling apart, which means this is very tender. We're going to be using all the meat, so we need this all to be in the this container here. There's that other wing. Okay, now we need to let the chicken cool completely. So this would actually be an excellent recipe if you wanted to make it the night before. You could start in with the chicken, let it cool, and then that can just go in the refrigerator. All right, let's get this broth strained. Again, be very careful about steam burns. Don't look over the pan. Okay, these do need to get discarded. They've given their all. All right, let's let our chicken and our broth cool down, then we can put our broth away for another use, and then we'll be skinning, boning, and cutting up our chicken. All right, let's get this chicken off the bone and cut into bite-sized chunks. Okay, when this chicken is very tender. Everything just peels right off. Oh look, there's the wishbone. Alright. Alright, my tender, the chicken breast tender is separating, so we'll take that out. Okay, so fairly decent sized chunks. Probably about 1-inch cubes. Alright, this is the leg thigh. Sometimes the leg meat is just not usable. This has been cooked for so long, it is so nice and tender. Gourd! Gourds. Okay, the thigh cleans up pretty good, almost like a breast. It'll clean fairly good for you. Just feel it. If you feel anything hard, just cut it off or pull it off. It's either bone or gristle. Okay, and once we get this all cut up, we are just going to go ahead and put this in the refrigerator and let it cool. And then we'll come back and we'll get started on the sauce portion. Alright, we're getting ready to make the spicy mayonnaise sauce for this Coronation chicken. Now, we are going to need all these ingredients plus mayonnaise and whipping cream, but the mayonnaise and whipping cream will have to come later once this is cooled down. So let's get started on these ingredients. Okay, I've got about a tablespoon of butter in this pan. I'm going to sweat down one small Spanish onion that's been chopped finely, which is somewhere between 1/4 and 1/2 cup. We've also got juice of 1/2 lemon, which is about 1/4 cup. We're going to need a couple of tablespoons of apricot preserves, a couple of tablespoons of this curry paste. This is hot curry paste, I do like that. 1/2 cup of red wine, a tablespoon or so of tomato paste, and a couple of bay leaves. So let's get this over to the stove and start going. Okay, we just want to sweat these onions, so we don't want this butter to get too hot. I'm going to get these in here. Alright, we'll just give those a quick stir. Okay, you can see how this butter is now clear and these onions are starting to become translucent. Alright, we don't want to let these onions brown because we're going to have to push most of this stuff through a fine mesh sieve. So we don't want any caramelized onions because they won't go through. Alright, so now we can just continue to add the rest of our ingredients. Alright, so a couple tablespoons of curry paste. A couple tablespoons of apricot preserves. A couple tablespoons of tomato paste. Let's get this stirred up here first. Turn my heat down. Alright, we'll get the lemon juice and the wine in. We'll get this stirred up. And then we'll add the bay leaves. Now, we're only going to simmer this for a few minutes. We just want to make sure these flavors are all combined and the alcohol in the red wine has been cooked down most of the way. Okay, now I know you're thinking to yourself, all that tomato paste going to waste. Well, it's not. We are going to scoop out the rest of the tomato paste, and I've got just a plate that I've covered with plastic wrap. I'm going to use the same disher and scoop little mounds of tomato paste onto this. Then this is going to go into the freezer and they're going to freeze hard. Once they've frozen hard, I'm going to just put them in a Ziploc bag, and then whenever I make this recipe again, all I have to do is pull out one frozen little tomato paste, and I don't have to open another can. Okay, this is nicely combined. Let's go ahead and get this through the sieve and strained out. This will need to come to room temperature and then go in the refrigerator so that it's nice and cold when we go to combine it with the mayonnaise and whipping cream. Alright, let's get this sauce together. This is nice and cold. This is 1.25 cups of mayo. So let's put this in here and fold it in. Okay, the whisk is probably going to whisk this up better. All right, that's stiff peaks, you can see that. All right, let's get this folded into this sauce. All right, let's get this put together and plated and tasted. All right, these are whole wheat crackers. They're like a digestive biscuit. They're a little bit sweet. So we're going to put some chicken on here, 1 or 2 pieces. And then a little bit of watercress. This is a nice peppery leaf that just makes this taste delicious. All right, let's give these a taste. Now, these can be made into regular sandwiches on flatbread or just regular white bread. I know this is going to be kind of messy. That curry flavor is unbelievable. All right, the 2-bone piece of the wings. Oh, for God's sake! How many takes are you guys gonna ruin?
What? Me?
We are rolling!